Uncle C, back in the office, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to get any woman you desire to become absolutely obsessed with you in 2022. And some of you might be wondering, why would I get this all the time. I don't want a girl obsessed with me. That's BS. If there's a woman that you're into, one of the biggest pains that oftentimes men face themselves is when they want somebody and that person does not want them back. So because of that, I'm going to show you step by step, A through Z, how to ensure that you are at the receiving end, or you ultimately know for sure what to do to be at the cause of the emotional outcome and not necessarily the effect. This video is going to be one of my deepest dives due to the fact that on this channel, one of my most popular videos in 2021 was how to get a woman obsessed with you. So, because I've been coaching now for over a year longer, I've seen every walk of life possible, I can give you an even more in-depth analysis, okay? And to do this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down different categories that stems from the why, the what, the how quickly, and then ultimately what does her genuine desire look like. Let's dive in. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey Zander. I'm the founder of Headman, and I'm here to revitalize masculinity and ultimately make men full stack. Let's dive in. How do you get this woman obsessed with you? Well, first off, what we have to identify is why, okay? Why does she want this? Why does she want to feel an obsession towards a man? You have to understand on what a deep primal level it means to a woman when this happens, okay? A woman 100% wants to be completely infatuated with the man's presence. Maybe it's how he walks, maybe it's how he talks, maybe it's how he carries himself. There's nuances in his speech and who he is that makes her fantasize about him. Rest assured, this is every single woman's fantasy. I'm going to be even taking numerous coaching client case study examples and peppering them through this so that way I can really give you a full in-depth analysis in tune with my own relationship. So, let's dive into the first piece, why? Why does she want this? Well, okay, he who occupies the mind is who wins her heart. See, this is what a lot of you seem to not necessarily understand, is a woman's mind is the key to unlocking any sensation through her heart, through her spirit, or through her body. There's so many men, they try to do this piece, right, through sheer will. Okay, think about this for a second. They're constantly pumping iron in the gym. That's good, but once again, you can't do this through force. Right? They're constantly trying to make more money to appear as if they're a more powerful alpha. They're constantly trying to increase their status so they're this larger than life figure. Those things are great, but you have to understand one thing about women specifically. If you don't know how to occupy her mind, you will never be the dominant driving factor or the dominant driving force within a woman. This is why I'm a true proponent of learning MBT. For those of you who don't know what MBT is, I highly advise after this video going down and watching the webinar so you can learn masculine behavioral techniques as well, because the fact is that she wants to feel anything, and you can make a woman feel at any height, any income level, right, any status amount. These are things any man can learn. And this is why MBT can show you this perfectly. But the truth is this, if she wants to feel something, right, if she wants to feel, maybe for some women it's happiness, maybe for some it's sadness, maybe for some it's darkness, maybe for sometimes it's pain, then happiness, then back to rage or anger, okay? When a woman feels anything, that's far better than her feeling nothing. Now keep in mind, if your girl laying in bed, sitting and watching Netflix, does a better job of making her feel than you do, there's some crucial mistakes that you are making. The truth is that she wants a man that she can show off. But she can only show off a man if she has a high perceived value of him. Once again, why does she want this? Because if you can control the mind, if you can ensure that the mind is wrapped within a woman, you will unlock every form of desire. You will ultimately build a bond and an attachment that she cannot let go of, and you'll be the type of guy that she consistently fantasizes about. This is so crucial. Like, I can't explain to you guys, like, the reason why I truly believe this is so crucial is because I watch their guys in their 20s make the same mistakes in their 30s and then in their 40s, and then they're still dumped, heartbroken, and cheated on, even though they have $5 million in the bank, six-pack abs, and have 1 million Instagram followers. Like, these are the types of guys who will still get left because they don't understand how to work a woman's chemistry correctly. So, here's what happens. When you're competent at tapping her emotions, okay, these are some things you will routinely hear a woman say. The first is, oh, I just can't get a read on you. Okay, I can't read you. This will confuse you because you're going to be sitting there going, what do you mean you can't read me? I've spent time with you. Okay? You should know that, like, if I still text you back, there must be something that I like. But what makes logical sense in your head as a man will never make emotional sense in a woman's heart. The first thing she will say is, I can't read you. The second is she's going to go, I don't even know if you even like me. The third thing she's going to say is, you're different. And the fourth and final that I've noticed time and time again is extreme honesty. Okay, we're talking levels of honesty so quickly to the point where she classifies you as some sort of full stack male or a 1%er male. And because she's classifying you as full stack, she will reveal things like her notch count. She will blurt this out. She will reveal things like how she feels deep down. She'll confess her love, right? These are things that you would probably get dumped for. These are things that you would hit a pullback from. She truly can't control herself when her emotions are involved. That's the why. Notice, I told you this is going to be an in-depth video. Stay with me, because the second piece to this is the what. What will this woman feel? We know why she wants to feel a certain way. Now we have to identify what this woman is going to feel. The first thing that she is going to feel deep down is safe. If you can make a woman feel safe or safety or strength when she's around you, this is going to be the number one driving factor in her emotions. A woman oftentimes can't even articulate this, but if you do get her to fully comprehend the fact that she does feel safe, you just unlocked her heart on the deepest level, because a safe man is a good bet for survival, and women know that the world is scary, okay? A safe bet, a safe man. Here's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like you working the words correctly. This could be how you make her feel by your looks or even your masculine frame. When I say frame, this is you controlling the frame or the narrative that's produced by both of you. And the cool thing is I'm going to give you numerous examples when it comes to the how in the middle of this whiteboard of how to do this. If you can't work the words the correct way to induce proper psychological frame control, she's not going to classify you as an alpha. Because the truth is that to do this, to be a full stack man in her eyes, the only way to be classified it is if you can work the words the correct way to show the extreme levels of competence. So, what she will also feel. The second thing is she's going to feel loss of control, whether that be of her emotions or of the situation, but in a good way. This is the point where she's going to just want you to lead. She's not only going to want you to lead, but the elements that she's going to feel along the way is going to be trust in her man that's leading her. The second is going to be agreeance. She's going to agree with the frame and agree with the narrative. And the third is going to be loyalty. She is loyal to that lead. She's not going to stray from that lead because it's such a powerful driving force that she wants to be a part of. For some of you, you're going to hear the words loss of control she will feel, and you're going to think, oh, Casey, isn't that bad? Isn't that scary? No, absolutely not. Every woman reserves the right to say no, and she also reserves the right to walk away and not hang out with you any longer. But the fact is, if you do this properly, she's going to feel elements of love, safety, and trust, and not just elements of fear, okay? This is huge. The next thing that she will feel is she's going to feel like she can't control her mind. She's going to say things like, you just make me so happy, okay? Or there's so many men, they want to win a woman over in bed. Like, for example, I've heard numerous men say that, I'm really trying to work on how I am S3 actually in bed, or, they're trying to make sure she feels good and she's pleasured in bed, okay? And they're constantly trying to do it through the physical. It's not how you do it with a woman. You do it through the psychological. So I'll give you an example. I myself have been on dates with women, right? And within the second, third, or fourth time just hanging out, just my presence alone, she will say things like, oh my God, I'm just constantly around you, okay? Because of that, these are things that every man can learn how to do. And notice, it had nothing to do with her clothes coming off. This had nothing to do with how she was being, anything physical. This was constantly psychological. So because of that, what she's going to do, what will happen and what she will feel is she will blurt out stuff that you would typically be dumped for. Why? Because she's now expressing true love and true loyalty. And these are two of the most powerful things in a woman's brain that will build the attachment. You have to understand one thing. It's a woman's goal, to have a deep vested interest in one man. Like women on a biological level do not want to just go out and cheat and have a bunch of options and rack up a bunch of different guys that they're with. They don't want that. They want to be with the highest value, strongest dominating force. They want a deep physical and psychological attachment to one man. Your job is to be able to position yourself as that man. Okay, and the cool thing is if you learn how to do this, if you learn how to position yourself as that man, the truth is you can actually position yourself as that man with any woman. One of the hidden cheat codes of MBT. Now you might be wondering, how do you get the woman obsessed with you? Okay, how is this different in 2022 than it was in years past? Well, I'm going to show you. In 2022, there is a specific framework to do so. The framework that we use is an element of front-end game combined with proper back-end game. And I'm going to explain each of these in the middle of the whiteboard. On the front end, okay, when you first meet the woman, and this is where I'm going to even show you real-life examples. On the front end with a woman, you want to develop 3 things with your words. You want to develop mystery with your sentences. You want to develop intrigue so she can't figure you out. And you're going to want to develop allure. How do you create mystery and how do you create allure? How do you create spectacles around the stories that you tell? These are 3 of the biggest dominating factors. I'm going to give you an example. If a woman says, "What do you do, Casey? What do you do for a living?" And I say, "Oh, I help men with dating." It's pretty boring, okay? But if you want to create allure and you want to create intrigue, and I said, well, currently what I'm doing is I'm leading 175,000 men through a shift to revitalize masculinity and make them full stack, but you don't have to worry about that because we can just spend our time enjoying each other right now. She's going to be hit with that and think, what the actual hell did he just say? What does this guy do? What does he want to do? Like and it's a mystery. She wants to figure out. There's banter to engage with that. So what are we doing here? We're inducing a questions-based framework. Okay, a questions-based framework. If a woman says, "Do you like me?" What you want to say if you're using a questions-based framework is you would say something along the lines of, well, let's say hypothetically I did like you. How would that make you feel? Would that be a good feeling? Is this something you want to feel? Would you like me to like you? See, these are 3, those right there are 3 things that you can use to remain aloof. Okay? This is what game is. This is the one piece of game that so many men screw up on that are actually high value, that if they tapped just this one piece of the how, when it boils down to front end game, they would master the ability to push and pull to create a level of sexual tension to where the woman is damn near in ecstasy just thinking about you. The fact is most men just don't know how to do this. So the second piece to this, once you've created this seduction or you've created this framework where she wants to be in your presence in the front end, the second piece to this is how do you structure your life in the back end? Because what will come with this heightened emotion is she is still going to have to ask herself on a biological level or on a primal level, is this man what he says he is? Like, could this man fight if necessary? Can this man provide? Does this man have resources? Like all of the stuff that actually makes you high value, this cannot be shown until you hit the back end. Okay? Because here's what's going to happen with the back end. The back end, this push-pull dynamic of sexual tension and banter, with time, is going to lose its pull. Why does it lose its pull? Because you can only keep up a seductive aura through so many interactions before a time's going to come when you're going to have to actually explain what you do for a living. Okay? If you want to see a woman consistently for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, you're going to have to learn how to set your life up properly on the back end. So, back end game, a thing woman is looking for is going to be number 1, competence. Like, is this man smart? Does this man have resources? The second is success. Okay? Not just ambition. Like, do your ambitious endeavors actually bear fruit? Does it yield ROI in life? Because if you consistently talk about your side hustle in your business, but she sees that it hasn't went anywhere in 6 months, or she sees that no matter what, you can't be successful with it or get it to take off, there's going to be a lack of competence. It's like, yeah, I appreciate your ambition, but you're just not good enough to actually get success. This is going to be a massive detriment. So, what will happen is when you show that your life is set up properly on the back end, when you display this competence, you display this success, you display that you're focused, here's what will happen. Her tests will set in. She will naturally try to break this. You might be thinking, oh man, that's evil. Why would a woman try to test me when I've shown that I have this perfect life set up? Why would a woman try to tear down my walls and my boundaries of the things that I built for myself? Gotcha. Makes total sense. Here's why she does this. She wants to test if there is strength with these pillars that have been fortified. Like, yeah, you built a really pretty house, but how well can this house stand the test of time if a tornado rips through the whole city? This is what she's testing for, is pure strength. The second thing that she's doing is she wants to make sure that you will not go soft or weak through your emotions and sacrifice these pillars and these boundaries and this house, this framework that you set for yourself. She is trying to ensure that this cannot be torn down just through a small, cute little woman. The second that it is the second she wants no part of this guy's life, no matter how well your front end game is or no matter how well your back end game is. These are things that you have to do. So the tests only comes to prove that you can stay rock solid in your masculine frame. The tests come to show that you can stay rock solid in your demeanor and who you are. Now you might be wondering, or you might be asking, okay, well, how quickly does this attachment be built? How quickly does this obsession or this fantasy with a man start to come? Well, this obsession can honestly come within that day or even the first time meeting. There is men time and time again who, when they play their cards right, within the first 20 minutes of meeting the woman, they will already notice heightened levels of chemistry, heightened levels of seduction, heightened levels of banter, and it's because they actually have their front end game dialed in. Since they have their front end game dialed in, they will start to notice within that first 24 hours, she is already starting to role play why this guy is a better fit than every single man in her entire phone. So what will happen is you want to show as many front-end game postures as possible. And this stems from getting a woman to admit anything. AKA, when you operate on a questions-based framework, she's going to start to admit how she feels, how she thinks. She will reveal hidden traps about herself that she maybe has not told anybody. She will even say things like, I can't believe I'm telling you all this, or this is so not typically of me to just spill all the beans and show my cards this fast. I can't even control myself. I just feel safe when I'm around you. These are things that a woman will say verbatim. And I guarantee you, in fact, I would like you to comment right now, if you've ever aced any of these things, tell me how on point that I am. Tell me how on point that I am with actually acing the things that I'm telling you a woman will say verbatim, because you will hear these exact sentences and these exact frameworks. The reason is because this is your superpower. This is your superpower that is a refined skill. You see, this is why I advise every single man to go down below and actually see the MBT webinar, because when you see these 4 frameworks and these 4 steps that you follow, you don't have to be a Chad. There's Chads, quote unquote. There's guys who are 6'5", very full stack looking, aesthetic facial features, 6-pack abs, and you know what? Because they can't work the words correctly, there's time and time again where I've heard women routinely say, man, he was so attractive until he walked over to me and he opened his mouth. If you can't work the words the correct way, you're screwed. Because of that, you don't have to be a Chad. You don't have to have looks, money, or status. What you do have to have is you have to know how to position yourself as a full stack masculine man. So all of those high value traits you can now actually discuss and you can show on the back end. So you might be wondering, hey, Casey, if I ace these things, what does it look like when she's obsessed with me? What does it actually look and feel like when this woman's obsessed with me? Well, the first thing that it's going to look and feel like is it will look like overt loyalty frames. What does overt mean? Overt means that she will say the direct sentence like, hey, did you notice I deleted my Tinder? Hey, did you notice I deleted my Bumble? Hey, did you notice that I unfollowed all these people on Instagram? She'll even do things like show you her phone. If you're laying by her watching a movie, she will blatantly open up the Snapchat or she will blatantly open up the Messenger apps with the new messages to blatantly go through them and show you that they're all women, or to blatantly go through them and show you that she's not entertaining any options. The next thing that she will do is she'll start to pump your ego. She'll say things like, oh, you're so attractive. She'll say things like, oh, you're so big, right? She'll say things like, last night was so good, like I can hardly walk today. Regardless if it's true or not, she will pump your ego higher and higher to make you feel like the king. See, this is what you have to understand with desire. What raw, genuine desire looks like is a woman will actually inflate you and pump you up to make you feel more powerful instead of consistently testing and tearing you down. Many of relationships that you have probably been in, the woman would consistently nag, nitpick, test, and do anything to tear you down because she did not categorize you as full stack. The second that she does not categorize you as full stack is the exact second that you will notice she will try to punish you even further for not being what you claimed you were in the beginning. This is just how powerful these things are. If you understand this correctly, you will have a leg up in the dating game that 99% of men will never have. The next thing that it will look like is it will look like tasks and it will look like duties. When I first started dating my woman, you will notice, or you won't notice because you didn't see it, but what would happen is I would routinely be working. She would swing by the house, okay, unexpected, just ring the doorbell and drop off a coffee and just leave it there. Or put a note, right? She'd be driving to work, she'd stop by my house, she would go out to my car, she'd put a note right inside of the windshield wiper. It's like she would do anything to show that she was invested. She would write love letters. She would do these things. A lot of the romanticisms that you guys have done, women will start to do these to you when you act the correct way. And the last is going to be nurture. If you feel that you're sick, if you feel that you're upset, if you're stressed with work, a woman will routinely bring her presence into your frame to comfort you. And she will do this naturally. Now, for some of you who have never had these things happen, I genuinely feel sorry for you. But at the same time, this should be your cue to start to level up in 2022. This should be your cue to unlock front end game and back end game. And if you made it this far into the video, I advise you doing just 3 specific things. There's not a lot of things you have to do today, but there's 3 things you have to do. The first, you have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision if you want to be full stack or if you want to continue your life down the rabbit hole of mediocrity for the rest of your life. You're going to have to make this decision because you can continue to watch video after video, pump your state with information after information and never take action and never do anything with it. That's one choice. And that's a choice that you're going to have to make at some point today. The second thing that I want you to do is if these things clicked and these things started to make sense, I highly advise you to go down below right now. Take just an hour out of your day and go down below and click on the MBT webinar and watch that full-on presentation that I put together for you. This, my friend, is brand new for 2022. And in 2022, I show you end-to-end the only 4 keys that a man needs to know to master MBT, masculine behavioral techniques, once and all for the rest of your life, so you can have a rock-solid process to level up your dating game, attract the woman that you've always wanted, and keep her without her ever pulling away. The last thing that I want you to do is I want you to go and subscribe to the Headman Nation newsletter. 3 times per week right now, we are dropping emails with exclusive backstage access where I show you things that I don't say on this channel. I show you testimonials and case studies of other men who are using our hidden frameworks inside of Headman Nation to propel their life, their income, their finances, and who they are as a man to levels never before seen. Plus, if you want access to some of the behind the scenes things that I do with my team and ultimately with some of the men that I've included inside of this network, the only way to get access to it is if you are on my list. Those are the 3 decisions I want you to make today. Those are the 3 things I want you to do. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.